I just wanted to do a quick video on the CBT model, just to introduce you to what we'll be working with throughout therapy. Um, this is what we call kind of the golden triangle here. So as you can see, we've got a situation. So that could be anything. So if we could say that the situation is walking the children to school. Okay, so that's the situation. Okay. Now we come down here to the golden triangle, okay, and then what we might notice is that we start to feel anxious. Okay, so that's how we're feeling, and often we're really good at being able to say, I feel sad, or I feel anxious, or I feel good today, or I feel happy today. But what we aren't so good at is what the thoughts are that are triggering that emotion. Okay. And there will be thoughts there. It's just really about us becoming more aware of what those thoughts are. So in this instance, then we can say that the emotion, because we're really good at being able to identify what that is, so we're going to put that down as anxious. Okay. And there may be other emotions there as well. There may be fear, there may be sadness, maybe frustration. So these emotions are normally one word, sad, angry, happy, etc. Okay. So then what we can do is think about what am I thinking about? What are the thoughts? What's going through my mind when I'm feeling anxious? And really drawing attention to them. So in this instance, as an example, I could think all the parents are judging me, or all the other parents are judging me. No one likes me. They do not speak to me. Okay. So as you can see, this person's having lots of thoughts around the school run. And what we might notice is that actually leading up to an event, so that we may start to feel the emotions as well. So we may start to feel anxiety, 2 hours before we do something, a day before, a week before. And again, it's really about tapping into what the thoughts are that's causing the emotion. Okay. So this may not be, sometimes obviously anxiety can come on very quickly. Other times we can often feel a lot of a build up as well to the anxiety. Okay. So then so we've got the thoughts there. So they're the thoughts. That's making me feel anxious, and what other emotions are there. And then we've got what I do. So we've got here an action or a consequence, however you want to word that. And that's really how we cope with this, really. Okay. And what we do to manage it. So we could see that, we might avoid the school run completely and get someone else to take them to school. So we may avoid. Okay. So that's our way of avoiding how we're feeling. Okay. So we just avoid it completely. Or maybe some situations like walking the children to school or going to work or doing a meeting at work or whatever it might be, unfortunately, we're unable to avoid those things because it's part of our job. And obviously, it's important to get our children to school, and we need to do that. So we may then, although we may not avoid it completely, we may start to think about what we would identify as safety behaviours. So we may put some safety behaviours in place to make us feel less of this. Okay, so this could be things like rushing there and back. It could be keeping my head down. It could be changing my routes so you don't bump into other parents. It could be going really early. It could be changing clothing as well. So you might want to wear a hat to cover yourself, or something to cover your face so you feel less obvious to other people. So change clothing, no eye contact. So you get the idea. Okay. So various things that we do. So avoidance, we've got that, but also we've got some what we call safety behaviours. Okay, which we will talk about in the video as well. So at this stage, all I would really like to think about is when you're feeling, you notice an emotion. So it can be a change in your mood, if it's kind of your mood is lower, or you notice you're anxious, or whatever the emotion can be. I want you to then try and think about what is going on. What are the thoughts? And be quite specific about them. Okay. Okay. So it's the fact that I'm thinking about other parents will look at me and judge me and they'll think I'm stupid. Okay. That's why I feel anxious. And then what do I do to cope with that? Okay. So all we're doing at this moment in time is building a bit of a cycle in this golden triangle. Okay. And what we tend to think about in CBT is that actually the situation might not change, but the cycle here may change depending on what the thoughts are. Okay. So an alternative thoughts. So let's think about different thoughts for the same situation. So it could be that I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing the parents and having a chat. Okay. So there's the thought, and I guess as a result of that, there's going to be a very different emotion attached onto that thought. So we can put the emotion as maybe quite calm, relaxed, whatever it is, happy even, we're identifying some emotions there. And then as a result of that, obviously our behaviours consequences are going to change. So we're going to think about, I don't know, you may wait around to talk to other parents. Oh, sorry, can't spell. You may, so you're hanging around. It could be that you go on the busy route, so you meet some other parents or you meet a parent, all those kind of things, what we're doing there. So you can see we've got exactly the same scenario that hasn't changed, but our thoughts or perspective has changed around that situation, which then changes the rest of the cycle. Okay. So we can even do this for when we're feeling happy, calm and relaxed, because at this stage, all we want to do is really tap in to the thoughts, okay? Because this is what's going to drive your emotion and then your actions, okay? So it's all about our cognitions at the moment, and how it impacts how we feel and what we do. So, yeah. So just to summarise, this week, all I want you to think about is a situation, where you can feel anxious or whatever the emotion is. I'm really thinking about the thoughts and then the consequences. And if you can identify any safety behaviours at this stage, then that's great as well. You can just write them down underneath here as well. So we can keep a log of the kind of safety behaviours that you are. And like I said, we'll talk a bit more about that probably in another video.